Hey, everybody. This is a kind of ease into your day sort of a practice. It's pretty accessible, so good for anybody. And if you want to use props, they're optional, but you could grab a couple of blocks and a blanket and a strap. Thanks so much and enjoy. Begin on your back with your knees bent. Your hands can be wherever they're comfortable on your belly, resting by your sides. Just take a moment here to land. A couple nice deep breaths. And then we'll bring the knees up to your chest. You can open up the knees pretty wide and just a loose rock from side to side, rocking just a little bit off your spine. Really keep it easy and pretty slow. And then we'll begin to rock forward and back. You can catch behind the knees as you rock up to a little balance point, or you can set the feet on the floor. They can either hover or come to the floor. We'll do this a few times before we rock up into a supported boat pose. So now as you come up this next time, hit boat pose here with your shins parallel to the floor, arms reaching out in line with your legs. Chest and thighs move towards each other, then set the feet down. Keep reaching the arms out as you very slowly roll onto your back, dipping your chin towards your chest, keeping the feet planted. Really important here as you lower, so you might need to adjust where exactly they are. And then once you're all the way down onto your back, pause for a moment, resting, and then we'll draw the right knee in towards your chest, left leg long on the floor. Left arm reaching back behind you on the floor or hovering above the floor. Really grounding through the left leg and reaching through the left heel. And then switch. Draw the left knee up and reach the right leg long on the floor. Right arm reaches overhead toward the floor. Ground through the right leg. Reach out through the right heel. And then bend both knees, releasing, pausing, resting here for just a moment before lifting into bridge pose. And we'll lift up about 3 times. Slow lift, slow lower. Really gauging down the weight that's down through both feet and through both arms as you lift up. And when you come up again, grounding through the arms, you can walk the fingers close to your heels if you're able to and open the chest towards your chin, but without forcing the chin towards your chest. And we'll stay here for a few moments, feeling the weight again even down through both feet. Letting the breath be easy. And then slowly release. Let your spine drop back into neutral. Take your arms out to the side with the palms up. Lift both knees and take the knees over to your left side, stacking the knees and the ankles. Rest your left hand on your outer right knee and turn your head to the right. Nice easy breaths here as you feel the right side of your chest fall open in this twist. And then bring the knees to center and we'll go to the other side. Stacking the knees, bringing your right hand to the outer left knee and turning your head back to the left. And then come back to center. Once again, place the feet on the floor. Just take a moment to let your spine fall back into neutral. And then rock yourself up again to boat pose. Pausing, you can keep the knees bent and keep support, or you can keep the arms extended and straighten the legs for a moment. And we'll cross our legs and make our way forward into tabletop position. You could use a blanket under the knees if you like for more padding, totally fine. As you come into tabletop position, we'll spread the fingers nice and wide, plant down through both hands, and then begin to cycle through cow spine, cat spine with the breath so that we're inhaling as we arch the back and we're exhaling as we round. Just keep moving at your own pace with your own breath. Releasing, we'll sit back into extended child's pose. Widen the knees as you take your hips back to your heels and extend the arms forward with the elbows lifted if that's comfortable for you. And if it's not, you can find another position for your arms that's more restful. And then pressing yourself to your seat, just sit on your heels for a moment. Just taking a couple of breaths here, nice and quiet. Blocks are optional. If you find they're helpful for lunging positions, then have your blocks out in front of you, And we'll step the right foot forward first, turn the left toes under, lift the left knee. So 3 different levels of block or fingertips to the floor. Keep your chest reaching forward as you press down through the right heel, and find some lift through the left leg. From the lunge, we'll bring the left knee back to the floor and shift into a half split. Again, you can continue to use the blocks. Keep your chest lifted for a moment while you feel into the back of the right leg. That might be plenty, or you can bow forward over the right shin. And then we'll lift the chest and chin again. Walk the hands back forward, come back into a lunge, turning the back toes under and lifting the knee. Left hand to the floor or to the block as the right arm reaches up. Twist open to the right. Keep the back leg really straight. And keep hugging the right hip in toward the left. Turn to face the floor, drop your back knee to the floor, bring your right knee back to join it, and sit onto your heels for a moment. Again, just kind of gathering inward and taking a moment to feel things come back to balance between the left and right sides. And then we'll bring the left foot forward again. Grab up your blocks if they're helpful. Turn the back toes under and lift the back knee away from the floor. Chest is lifted forward. Back leg is straight and buoyant. And then take your right knee back to the floor to shift back into half split. Again, blocks if they're helpful. Keep your chest lifted initially while you assess the stretch, and then either stay there or bow gently over your left shin. And then if you bowed forward, lift your chest, walk your hands forward, and take the twist with the right hand on the floor or the block and the left arm reaching up. And as you twist open to the left, hug the left outer hip in. And then the left hand comes back to the floor, drop the back knee. Again, sitting back onto your heels for a moment just to sort of rest back into neutral. Just a little brief reset before coming forward and coming all the way onto your belly. And coming up onto your forearms for Sphinx pose. Place the elbows either right under the shoulders, or if that's too intense in the back, you can take the elbows further forward. Press the tops of the feet down as you lift and broaden your chest. Make sure the wrists and the elbows are equidistant. Releasing your forehead to the floor, slide the hands back now, spin the palms onto the floor, and lift the heads of the arm bones up away from the floor. A kind of pre-flight. Then when you're ready, lift up the feet, the arms, the hands, the chest. Slowly, gently release back down. Bring the hands under the shoulders. Again, preset the shoulders, and when you're ready, lift into cobra. Keep the elbows a little bit bent, at least a little bit bent, and close to the sides of your body. When you release down this time, fold the hands or the forearms, rest your forehead down. And again, just a few moments here to reset, to absorb, to clear. And then we'll bring the hands under the shoulders, press back onto all fours. And make our way back into downward facing dog. So as you come up into your first dog pose, feel free to move a little bit, to bend and straighten, to shift the weight, to move your head around, to release any tension out of the neck. When you're ready for the body to be more still, then draw inward and be steady in your pose. And then step one foot and the other forward toward the top of your mat. Shift a little bit. Fingertips can be on the floor as you reach the chest forward, or up on blocks or on shins. So you could take the blocks to their full height, or to their middle height, or all the way down to the low height. Each time you come lower, your chest is coming closer to your legs. So that's what the blocks are helping you control a little bit. Or hands to the floor, and you can fold more deeply. Just make sure there's no pain in your back, and it's not too much in the backs of the legs. Lifting your chest again. Lengthen through the spine, bring your hands to your hips, and press to stand. Releasing your arms, find mountain pose. Nice and steady, evenly grounding through both feet. And then we'll do just a little bit of balance here. So, as you stand, either right together or feet a little bit apart, draw the right knee up with your right hand, and the left arm can either just hang by your side or reach up toward the ceiling. Eyes are steady on a point. If you need something more for balance support, like a wall, adjust your environment, then we'll open the right knee to the right and the left arm to the left. If you want a little more balance challenge, turn your head to look left as your right knee goes right. Come back to center. Step your right foot down, stand mountain pose. And then we'll change sides. Pulling the left knee up towards your chest. Remember, you can either keep the right arm dropped or extend it up toward the ceiling. And then we'll open knee to the left and right arm to the right. And for a little more balance challenge, turn your head to look over the right hand. Come back to center. Step the foot down, stand for a moment, Tadasana. Just a brief reset here. And then we'll step the feet wide apart and parallel, hands onto the hips. Grounding through the feet, a little lift through the chest, look up, and then hinging from the hips, come forward. You can use blocks or bring your hands to the floor. And then extend the chest forward, look forward. And then if you can, walk the hands back and bring the top of your head to or toward the floor. If that's too much, stay in the first part with your hands further forward and your chest lifted. Hold steady here. And then lifting and extending, walk the hands back out. Look forward, and then turn all the way to your left side, turning the left toes to the short edge of your mat, turning the right toes part way around. Extend through the spine again, look forward, and either stay or fold out over your left shin. Remember, you can have blocks here as well for underneath your hands. And then re-extending the spine, look forward. Walk your way around through the middle and over to the other side. We'll take a little moment here in the center. And then when you pivot, just adjust that back foot enough to begin to bring the left hip around. Reach long through the chest first, extending the heart forward, and then either stay there or fold over the right leg. Adjusting the hands or the blocks to give you good support here. Lifting your chest, bring the hands forward, and from here we will step the leg back and come back into our dog pose for a few moments, again as a kind of reset. And then bend your knees, release your knees to the floor. And fold back into child's pose. Pressing up from child's pose. Kneel for a moment, pausing, resetting. And then find your strap and your blanket to sit on, or cushion, or several blankets. Sit up on something. Give yourself a little bit of height here. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Just sitting for a moment, and then we'll bend the left knee out to the side. You could use a block underneath the knee if your hip is giving you problems or your knee is tender. And then the strap is going to go across the bottom of the right foot and pull back on the strap. I want that feeling of pulling back on the strap today, so that even if you fold forward as you see me doing and walk your hands further down, I'm still pulling back on the strap against the foot to help elongate my trunk forward. Elbows have a little bit of lift. Instead of sort of, if you're very flexible, instead of flopping over and onto that right leg, keep a little bit of distance even if you're flexible between your trunk and your leg. And then lifting once again, releasing the strap, setting up for the other side. I'm going to take a block on this side underneath my right knee because my right hip's been a little cranky today. Place the strap across the bottom of the left foot. And again, as you go into this, a little lift through the chest, and then as you're pulling on the strap, you sustain that little bit of pull even as you come forward, however far forward you're coming. So that as you pull back on the strap, you're lengthening the chest forward, and you're keeping a little bit of lift through the chest And you're keeping a little bit of lift through the elbows. And then lifting, straightening out the elbows as you rise. Releasing the strap off your left foot. Go ahead and straighten both legs forward. And then bend your left knee and cross the left foot to the outside of the right leg today for variation Marichasana. Hug the knee with your right elbow to keep the knee and the chest close, and twist to your left, taking the left hand behind you. You can't see my foot, but I really want that left foot planted. The knee and the chest drawing towards each other to keep a lot of lift through the spine. Turn back to face the center. Bend your right knee and plant the right foot and bring the left leg into figure 4. You can hold on to the right knee with the right hand, the left knee with the left. You can lean forward if you can keep your chest lifted. You can stay more upright, but try not to round into your lower back here. And then go ahead and just extend the left leg up. Hold the back of the leg and push up through the heel. If you're a little more flexible, you can hold the leg closer to the foot. A nice little reset for the knee before we release, and do that sequence on the second side. So now the right knee bends and the right foot crosses to the outside of the left thigh. Hook your left elbow around the knee. Take the right hand behind you and stay nice and tall as you twist to the right here. And then untwisting back to the center, we'll bend up the bottom knee to plant that foot, the left foot, and holding on to the knee, the left knee with your left hand or shin, right knee with the right hand. You can take a little tip forward if you can keep your chest lifted, but prioritize keeping the spine nice and straight, right foot flexed. And then clasp the back of the right leg wherever it suits to be able to find a nice stretch and opening at the back of the knee, pushing up through the heel. And then we'll release and straighten both legs out in front. Take a moment in staff pose. Nice reset here as you ground both legs. Then bring the soles of the feet together in Baddha Konasana. Holding onto the feet, lift tall through the spine. Pressing the feet together, you can stay in a more upright position, or you can come forward. If you come forward, hands or forearms to the floor, continue to press the feet together. And again, even if you're very flexible, instead of flopping to the floor, extend the chest forward. Keep a little bit of lift there. Walking your way back up. Bring your knees together. Straighten the legs out in front of you. Brief reset again in staff pose. And then you can take your strap, hook it across the bottom of both feet, pull back on the strap as we did earlier, and continue pulling on the strap as you come forward. It might not be very far. But again, resist rounding and sort of falling forward, and instead keep lift through the elbows, lift through the chest, length through the spine. Rise up, release your strap and set it aside. Shifting your blanket back, optional, I'm going to keep it underneath my head today. As you come down onto your back, just release your head either onto the blanket or onto the floor, knees bent, feet about hip distance apart, and then just do a few spinal undulations here, arching as you breathe in, rounding as you breathe out. Doesn't have to be a big range, just a gentle little rocking to reset your spine before you rest. And then widen the feet apart, turn your toes in and lean the knees one against the other. Bring your hands to rest on your belly, drop your eyes closed. Take a nice deep breath in and out somewhere along the way here. Feeling your lower back settle and drop. And when you're ready, stretch your legs on the floor, make any last minute adjustments for Shavasana. Taking the arms a comfortable distance from the body, make sure you're comfortable, make sure you're warm. And then take rest for as long as you'd like. Thank you so much. Namaste.